Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the FUNimation dub of episode 131 of Dragonball Super. We begin this episode with Jiren saying he doesn't understand why Frieza saved Goku from falling off the arena, since Goku is currently not in fighting condition. Frieza responds that he considers Goku to be insurance, and Frieza also says he still intends to be the one to obtain a wish from the Super Dragon Balls. Jiren briefly fights Android 17 before switching his attention to Frieza, and while Jiren and Frieza fight, Frieza notices that Jiren isn't acting stoic like he did earlier during the Tournament of Power. Frieza takes this chance to mock Jiren by saying something along the lines about how Jiren is afraid of being a weakling like he used to be, and Jiren responds to Frieza's mocking by ruthlessly beating the evil tyrant up. However, Frieza manages to throw some rubble at Jiren just before Jiren finishes his attack with an energy blast, and after that, Android 17 charges towards Jiren to hit Jiren with an energy blast. Jiren tries to stop the attack, but Android 17 manages to activate an energy barrier to trap Jiren. Once the dust settles, we see that Jiren has been injured, much to the surprise of the Universe 11 team. Frieza compliments Android 17 for his efforts, and sarcastically says that he's honored by Android 17's trust when Android 17 encourages Frieza to eliminate Jiren from the tournament. Although Vermod is surprised by the possibility of Jiren losing, he still praises Jiren's efforts throughout the Tournament of Power and acknowledges that Jiren did his best when all is said and done. Frieza takes the chance to mock Jiren one more time just before he eliminates Jiren from the tournament. More specifically, Frieza mocks that Jiren is looking down while Frieza is preparing his attack to eliminate Jiren from the tournament. But then Top encourages Jiren not to give up, and this leads to Jiren regaining the will to fight. A fire-looking aura surrounds Jiren while he's preparing to attack, and this leads to Android 17 and Frieza trying to maintain an energy shield. Frieza is unable to maintain his ultimate form, or his golden form if you prefer, and he ends up changing back to the regular version of his final form. Eventually, Goku manages to will himself to stand up, and he uses instant transmission to reach Android 17 and Frieza's current location. Goku encourages Android 17 to play the role of backup while he, Goku, and Frieza will directly attack Jiren, or they'll attack Jiren head-on. Frieza insists that he doesn't need to share the spotlight with Goku. That's along the lines of what he says, but Goku responds that they need to work together or else Universe 7 will be erased from existence. Jiren is impressed that Goku is willing to still fight him even in his current condition, and Jiren proceeds to power up, which catches the attention of the Universe 7 characters that are in the spectator seats. Frieza inquires Goku if Goku remembers the promise that he made to Frieza, the promise to bring Frieza back to life if the Universe 7 team wins the Tournament of Power. Goku responds that he will keep his promise if Frieza keeps his own promise. Frieza responds to Goku's answer by saying that he's grateful for Goku's naivete right now, even though he usually hates that quality of Goku's. Or that's along the lines of what Frieza says anyway. But eventually, Goku and Frieza begin to fight Jiren directly, or they attack Jiren head first, they go straight to attacking Jiren directly, or they attack Jiren head on. And Krillin admits that it's surprising to see Goku and Frieza working together, and Vegeta can only have a look of surprise on his face. Yes, Universe 7 Saiyan Prince can't say anything right now. He just has this look of shock on his face while he sees this. Android 17 still does attack Jiren, but he's not doing so at close range. Android 17 is launching energy blasts towards Jiren while keeping his distance, while Goku and Frieza are attacking Jiren at close range. And eventually, though, Jiren does try to attack Android 17, but Frieza instructs Goku to throw him, Frieza, at Jiren. So yes, Goku does that. He throws Frieza towards Jiren, and Frieza grabs onto Jiren, and Jiren and Frieza are beginning to fall. Jiren tries to shake Frieza off, but Frieza refuses to let go of Jiren, and then Goku charges towards Jiren. While Goku is charging towards Jiren, he keeps switching between his normal form and the Super Saiyan 1 form, due to the fact that Goku's stamina has still been drained significantly. So while Goku and Frieza are attacking Jiren right now, Jiren is thinking to himself, and in his mind, Jiren realizes that the Universe 7 team are demonstrating the power of trust right now. And while Jiren is having this realization, or this reflection on the Universe 7 team's efforts, Goku and Frieza are continuing to charge towards Jiren, and they're trying to push Jiren off the arena. Eventually, Goku, Frieza, and Jiren are all eliminated from the Tournament of Power. So that means Android 17 is the only fighter still in the arena right now. So that means Android 17 is the winner of the Tournament of Power. In the spectator seats, Goku thanks Frieza, but Frieza says that he will only be satisfied if Goku keeps his promise. The Grand Minister declares that Universe 11 will be erased from existence, and Top thanks Jiren for doing his best on behalf of the Universe 11 team. Jiren, though, doesn't understand why Top, and by extension the rest of the Universe 11 team, are thanking him, because Jiren acknowledged that, yes, Jiren admits that he didn't treat his teammates very well or with respect during the tournament. Goku, though, wants to have a moment to say something to Jiren before Universe 11 is erased from existence. So before Universe 11 is erased from existence, Goku takes the chance to say that he enjoyed the fight with Jiren, and he hopes that they can have a rematch sometime in the future. Jiren responds to this by smiling before he and Universe 11 is erased from existence. Vegeta acknowledges that Jiren was a powerful warrior, and Goku agrees with Universe 7's Saiyan Prince's sentiments. The Grand Minister inquires Android 17 if he has decided on his wish yet, and the Grand Minister proceeds to perform the ritual to summon Super Shenron. The Omni Kings make a point to mention that Super Shenron can grant any wish, and Android 17 does make his decision. He has chosen what wish he wants to have granted. Android 17's wish is to restore the universes that were erased from existence. The Omni Kings inquire Android 17 if he's sure about this particular wish, and Android 17 assures them that he is certain this is the wish he wants granted. The Grand Minister's response to this is to give a proud smile, and then he translates Android 17's wish into the divine language. Super Shenron grants the wish, and we see that the Universe 6 team are back in existence, and they're back in Universe 6. Kappa thinks to himself about how Vegeta kept his promise, while Caulifla urges Kappa to train with her, Caulifla, and Kale so that they can unlock Super Saiyan 3. Champa is talking to himself out loud, but he says he's not going to thank his brother. We then see that the Universe 10 team, the Universe 3 team, the Universe 2 team, the Universe 9 team, the Universe 4 team, and the Universe 11 team are also back in existence, and they're back in their respective universes too. In Universe 11, Top walks over to Jiren so that they can talk a little, and Jiren admits to Top Jiren mentions to Top how Goku wanted to have a rematch in the future, but Jiren admits that he doesn't think he can form bonds with other individuals because of how he lived his life by being haunted by the traumatic experiences of his past. Top, however, responds by pointing out how his speech motivated Jiren to continue fighting during the last part of the Tournament of Power, and Top says that the Universe 11 team won't lose the next time they meet Goku and his comrades. This leads to Jiren smiling, and he agrees with Top's sentiments. Back in the Null Realm, Super Shenron disappears once the wish has been granted, and the spectator seats begin to head towards the arena. So the spectator seats are heading towards the arena, and Android 18 rushes to Android 17, and Android 18 inquires her twin brother if he's really okay with giving up the wish he originally planned for the wish that he made. Android 17 assures his twin sister that he's okay with the choice that he made, and Goku thanks Android 17 for going through with the wish that he ended up going through with having granted. Goku thanks Android 17 for deciding to go through with the wish that he wanted granted in the end. Android 17's response is to say that, Android 17 responds to Goku's thanks by admitting that Goku's influence might have been a factor in his decision to give up his originally planned wish for the one that he ended up requesting. And Android 18 responds to this by saying that she thinks Goku and Android 17 are becoming more alike. Frieza wants to hurry things along and figures that the other Universe 7 team members will probably just send him back to Otherworld now that they're all done. But Whis proceeds to bring Frieza back to life, much to the present character's surprise. Whis says that this is a gift from Beerus for Frieza's efforts during the Tournament of Power, and Frieza responds that even despite this, Frieza says that Frieza's response to this is to say, despite what just happened, he doesn't intend to give up his evil ways. But Goku responds that he will just stop Frieza again if Frieza tries to pull any more evil acts. The Omni Kings then go to talk to Goku, and they talk about how much fun they consider the Tournament of Power to be. So while the Omni Kings are talking to Goku, back at the spectator seats, Shin admits that he didn't expect Android 17 to make the wish that he ended up making. The Grand Minister then reveals that he's right in front of the characters in the spectator seats right now, and the Grand Minister reveals that the Tournament of Power was actually a secret test of character that he and the Omni Kings had arranged. The Omni Kings foresaw that the winner of the Tournament of Power would show virtue by showing compassion for the other universes, and that all of reality... the Grand Minister also reveals that all of reality would have been erased from existence if a selfish wish was made. Vados acknowledges that the Tournament of Power was a challenge for all of reality, not just the low mortal level universes that actually participated in the tournament, and Whis suspects that the Omni Kings must have had high expectations that Goku and those affiliated with Goku could overcome the challenge and show that mortals can change. The Omni Kings then inquire Goku about what they should do next, but Beerus quickly interrupts what Goku is about to say, and Beerus insists that they'll have to do a rain check on that. The Grand Minister praises the Universe 7 team for their performance during the Tournament of Power, and also praises the 7th Universe team for the wish that was made. While the Omni Kings inquire Goku if they will ever see him again, Goku responds by promising that they will meet again one day, and he gives the Omni-Kings a fist bump. After that, we see the 7th Universe team has returned to Capsule Corporation. The narrator comments that the Z Fighters have returned to their daily routines. And then we get to hear the opening theme song during the Universe Survival Saga playing while a montage is shown on screen. So the scenes in this montage include Bulma hugging Vegeta, Goten, Trunks, and Marin easily protecting the island from poachers, Gohan and Piccolo reuniting with Videl and Pan. Boo is shown still sleeping while Hercule and Bee the dog are shown to be sleeping too. Master Roshi visits Korin and Yajirobe. Tien helps his students repair the village. Goku returns home, and we see a party is being held for Bola's birth. And we also see that Android 17 is on a cruise boat that has the Capsule Corporation logo. And Android 17 is talking to the Z Fighters at the party thanks to video chat. Goku and Vegeta have a spar while they're both in Super Saiyan Blue form during the party. And we then see, and then the montage ends showing that Frieza is out in space and he's planning to rebuild his empire, or he's beginning the first steps of rebuilding his empire. After that, we see Goku and Vegeta have taken their sparring match to a different location, some mountain-filled region. And Goku admits that he can't activate autonomous Ultra Instinct, or Ultra Instinct for short, at will. So Goku and Vegeta are preparing to continue their spar, and the narrator says that the adventures of Goku will continue when another powerful opponent appears. But for now, this is goodbye for now, though. And that is how we end this episode. So there you go. This episode concludes the Tournament of Power sub-saga and the overall Universe Survival Saga. And for now, this is the ending for the Dragon Ball Super anime. Now, I guess I should go ahead and mention this now. There is a movie that's set after the events of the Universe Survival Saga, and the manga, or the manga if you prefer, is continuing on past the point of the Dragon Ball Super movie. So it seems pretty safe to say that we will get more anime-related content eventually in the future. That seems like a pretty safe bet. We just don't know when it's going to happen. Or the fact that the manga, or the manga if you prefer, is still continuing past the point of the Dragon Ball Super movie, and considering how popular the Dragon Ball franchise is right now after the renaissance it's been experiencing, I think it's safe to say that we will see more from the anime side of the franchise eventually. It's just no one knows when exactly it will continue, but I'm very confident it will continue. I guess the big question, though, is will it still be considered Dragon Ball Super, or is it going to be considered a different show? Sort of like how the anime split classic Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z into different shows. I guess we're going to have to wait and see eventually, but yeah, I'm confident we will get more episodes or more anime-related content for the Dragon Ball franchise in the future, but the specifics are a mystery right now, so we'll just have to wait and see what news follows after that. But for now, let's talk about how the Universe Survival Saga ended. Let's talk about this particular episode and other parts of the Tournament of Power. So yes, I think it's safe to say that most, if not all, fans had expected that the 7th Universe team would be the team that won the Tournament of Power in the end, considering the fact that this episode, considering that Dragon Ball Super, at least up to the Universe Survival Saga, considering the fact that Dragon Ball Super so far has taken place within the 10-year time skip in between Kid Buu's defeat and when Goku meets Oob, it's safe to say that, yes, I think it's safe to say that most fans, if not all fans, had figured that the Universe 7 team was going to win the Tournament of Power. It was just a matter of how how they were going to win the tournament and who the exact winner was going to be. And I will admit, I did not expect Android 17 to be the winner of the Tournament of Power. But I don't consider that to be a bad thing. Quite the contrary, I thought that was a pretty cool surprise. And I think it did very well at highlighting Android 17's character development throughout the Universe Survival Saga. When he first showed up during the Universe Survival Saga, he was very apathetic about participating in the tournament. Even finding out that that the participating universes that lose the tournament would be erased from existence, after finding that out, Android 17 was still apathetic about participating in the tournament. But then he agreed to join the Tournament of Power after Goku did him a solid, although he still had just a very mundane wish in mind if he did win the Tournament of Power. But while participating throughout the tournament, he grew to actually care about the stakes of losing the Tournament of Power, and in the end, Android 17 made a selfless wish. So yes, I thought that was a pretty cool way to highlight Android 17's character development, and I would be on board with the idea of Android 17 joining the rest of the Z Fighters in any future events in the that happen in the franchise. If we do get any future sagas that involve multiple characters, I would be on board with Android 17 returning. And at least they do have a way to help explain why Android 17 can participate. They can just have other characters watch over the island if they ever need Android 17's help. So yeah, if they plan to bring Android 17 back, that's cool in my book. I would like to see more Android 17 in the future. Now, I guess another thing we should talk about is, so Android 17 won the Tournament of Power. I do remember some people had thought that Goku would be the winner of the tournament, but looking back on other tournaments throughout the Dragon Ball franchise, this actually continues the trend of Goku actually losing most of the tournaments that he participated in. At this point in time, at the recording of this video, the only time when Goku actually won a tournament was the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. That was the tournament that happened at the end of Classic Dragon Ball. That was during the Piccolo Jr. sub-saga of the Piccolo Saga, to be more specific. So now, with regards to the wish of restoring the universes that were erased from existence, most, if not all, fans had expected that wish to be made, and I was one of those fans too. I expected that wish to happen, but I didn't have a problem with that. I figured it was going to happen, but that's not a problem with me that I knew that was going to happen. I was cool with that. I was more interested in seeing how they got to that point rather than what the end results would be. And but something I did like was something that surprised me, and I was pleasantly surprised about this, was the revelation that the Tournament of Power was a secret test of character that the Omnikings and the Grand Minister had planned. I like this revelation because it helps to show that Zeno, even though he acts like an excitable child, he still has a sense of wisdom. He's still the god among gods for a reason, despite being very powerful. So I did like that. Detail because it does show that there's more to Zeno's character than him just being a very excitable childlike being. And I do prefer that over the reason why Android 17 made the wish in the manga, or the manga if you prefer. In that version of the Universe Survival Saga, Android 17's reason for making that wish was to stick it to the Omnikings. So I much prefer the anime interpretation, where Android 17's reason for the wish was to highlight character development and to show that the Omnikings and the Grand Minister had a secret test of character in mind. And I did like that highlights that there's more to Zeno than just being a very excitable child. So yes, I like the anime interpretation better. I also prefer the anime interpretation of the saga better overall because I felt like it gave more attention to various characters throughout the different universes. Some of them still did feel like that they were wasted characters, I'll admit, but I think the anime had less of that problem compared to the manga or the manga version, if you prefer. So, yeah, I prefer the anime interpretation of the Universe Survival Saga. But in any case, with the revelation that the Omni-Kings and the Grand Minister had planned the Tournament of Power to be a secret test of character that would actually have saved all of reality, I'm hoping... that helps to reaffirm that Goku reminding Zeno about the tournament was actually a good thing in the grand scheme of things. And I appreciated that because I brought this up before in previous recap and thoughts videos. I do find it very irritating how some fans and some characters keep perpetuating the idea that Goku doomed multiple universes, when in reality, Goku's reminder to Zeno about the tournament was actually a good thing. One would hope that this revelation would be enough to put a stop to that mentality of Goku dooming multiple universes that some fans keep perpetuating. But sadly, I still do see some fans perpetuate that idea, and it's rather frustrating. That's also why I was kind of frustrated by that scene where Beerus was trying to stop Goku from saying something when the Omni-Kings inquired Goku about what they should do next now that the Tournament of Power was over. I feel like that was kind of still perpetuating the idea of characters blaming Goku for multiple universes being doomed, even though they've been told several times already Goku reminding Zeno was a good thing. So, yeah, I was a little annoyed by that scene. Some fans thought it was funny. And I could see the humor. It just aggravated me a bit because it keeps perpetuating that mistaken idea that Goku was at fault for what was happening, even though Goku's reminder actually ended up being good. So besides that, let's talk about Frieza's involvement with the Tournament of Power now that we're all done with the Tournament of Power now. So I did admit beforehand that when I first found out about Boo falling asleep and Frieza replacing Boo at the last second, I admit my knee-jerk reaction was not very enthusiastic. I won't lie, my knee-jerk reaction was, oh really, they're bringing Frieza back again. But after that knee-jerk reaction, I did take a moment to think to myself, well, I always do tell myself that have always been a bigger... I've always been more about how something is executed rather than how many times it's been done. So maybe they can execute Frieza's return here better than they did beforehand in the Golden Frieza saga. So after that knee-jerk reaction, after I had a moment to let the surprise sink in, I decided let's watch the rest of the Tournament of Power sub-saga and see how Frieza's return is executed. And I have to say, they executed it well, if you wanted my 2 cents on the matter. I think they did execute... I do think they executed the idea of Frieza's return here very well, and I think this does, in the end, reaffirm why I think people should be more concerned about if something is well executed rather than how many times something's been done. So I think that reaffirmed that belief in execution over the number of times something's been done. And I give them credit. They did really well with Frieza's return here. However, though, I will admit I'm still disappointed that Boo was left out of the Tournament of Power, just like I was disappointed when Boo was left out of the Tournament of Destroyers. I'll give them credit. They executed Frieza's inclusion well. I just wish that it wasn't at Boo's expense. Now, the other thing is Frieza has been brought back to life now, and some fans are under the impression that Frieza will become a recurring villain in any future entries or future sagas for the Dragon Ball franchise. And some fans also think this could open up a possibility. To be more specific, some fans think that Frieza being back among the living and possibly becoming a recurring villain in the future, some fans think this might be a chance for his older brother Cooler to become a canon immigrant, or this could be the chance for Cooler to become part of the main continuity of the Dragon Ball franchise. So I would be okay with that. I'd be cool. Yeah, pardon the pun. I'd be cool with Cooler becoming a canon immigrant. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the franchise's future. Besides that, there's also the details with Jiren. Now, Jiren is a base-breaking character. Some fans like Jiren well enough. Some fans really don't like Jiren. And some fans are kind of just in the middle of the road about Jiren. Maybe they don't outright hate Jiren, but they might not consider themselves to be the biggest fans of the character. But in this episode, we do see that Jiren did manage to get some more character development. By the last few episodes of the Universe Survival Saga, Jiren had gained some new character development, and by the end of this episode, he did gain a new perspective on life. Now, some fans think of Jiren's character development and his backstory to be an example of too little too late, while other fans think of his character development and his backstory to be more along the lines of better late than never. And that's my stance. My stance on Jiren's character development and his backstory is better late than never. And like I said before, Jiren's not the first example of a character who seems less like a character and more like a nearly unstoppable obstacle to defeat. Jiren's not the first example of this, and given that Jiren is back, has been brought back to existence by the end of the Universe Survival Saga, it opens up the possibility that maybe Jiren can return in the future, and if he does return in the future, maybe there's a chance for him to show more of a character or more of a personality, similar to Hit. That's how I think of Jiren. Hit kind of Hit started off not showing much of a personality at first, but by the end of the Champa Saga, Hit started to show more of a personality. He started to have more character development, and we got to see that expanded upon in Hit's later appearances, whether it was that two-parter where Goku wanted to fight Hit at full power, or during the Universe Survival Saga. So I'm willing to suspect that they'll probably give Jiren that chance too. So I'm willing to wait and see if Jiren returns in the future and see if he can have his character expanded like Hit and other similar characters from the franchise had their respective characters expanded upon in later appearances. But we'll just have to see what happens in the franchise's future. So what do I think of the Universe Survival Saga overall? Among the 5 sagas of Dragon Ball Super, at least if you're just covering the anime version of Dragon Ball Super, I would say the Universe Survival Saga would be my second favorite saga. I still consider the Zamasu Saga to be my favorite saga from Dragon Ball Super. And otherwise, there we go. We did a recap and thoughts for the Universe Survival Saga of Dragon Ball Super. Now, yes, like I mentioned earlier, there is a movie that's set after the events of the Universe Survival Saga. So for some fans wondering, will I be covering the movie? The answer to that depends on if they do a retelling or not. Because the first 2 sagas of Dragon Ball Super, the Beerus Saga and the Golden Frieza Saga, are retellings of movies, Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, respectively. So it ultimately depends if they're going to do a retelling or not. If they don't do a retelling of the Dragon Ball Super movie, then I'll go ahead and do a recap and thoughts for the movie. But if they do end up doing a retelling, then I'm just going to do recap and thoughts for the episodes of that saga if there is a retelling. So that's the answer to that. So we're going to have to wait a while and see, because there hasn't been an official announcement about the anime returning or a continuation for the anime. At least at the time of this video's recording, there hasn't been an official announcement. But it's been strongly indicated that there will be a continuation of some kind, especially because the manga, or manga if you prefer, is still continuing past the Dragon Ball Super movie. So I think it's a safe bet that we will see more. We just don't know when it's going to happen, at least at the time of this video's recording. So we'll just have to hang tight, see if any official announcements happen. And once we have more information, more context about what the plans are for the anime side of the Dragon Ball franchise, we can figure out how we'll be going forward with recap and thoughts for this channel. But otherwise, yeah, there we go. So overall, I did like Dragon Ball Super. I'd still say I might, or yeah, I know Dragon Ball Super is a bit of a base-breaking series among fans of the franchise, but I personally feel that some fans and some big-name fans were rather harsh about Dragon Ball Super. It's not perfect. I do feel that Dragon Ball Super had some flaws or missed opportunities. But overall, I still thought it was a fun ride overall. I still enjoyed the series. I still liked some things about the series. There were things I felt it did really well with. Speaking for the Universe Survival Saga in particular, I liked how the Universe Survival Saga gave some other characters besides the Saiyans a chance to shine. We got to see the human characters like Krillin, Tien, and Master Roshi, and we got to see Piccolo, the androids, get their chance to shine, because some fans do feel that there is a tendency to hear about how later parts of the Dragon Ball franchise led to the Saiyans becoming a spotlight-stealing squad. So seeing non-Saiyan characters get their chance in the spotlight, particularly during the Universe Survival Saga, was very welcomed in my book, and the book of other fans too. So, yeah, Dragon Ball Super, not flawless, not perfect, but it still had its good points. And I do feel that, Dragon Ball Z had their flaws too, but they're still enjoyable shows. And, well, with Dragon Ball GT, I do think Dragon Ball GT does have its good points, even if I do consider it to be the weakest series within the Dragon Ball franchise. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed Dragon Ball Super. Even with its flaws, I still felt it was a fun ride nonetheless. And I do look forward to seeing more from the Dragon Ball franchise in the future. I'm definitely glad that we get to have these new stories with the Dragon Ball franchise after it's been dormant for a very long time. And I do look forward to seeing what else we can expect from the franchise's future going forward. But overall, there we go for this particular episode's recap and thoughts video. So, yes, there we go. As of this video, we have now discussed the FUNimation dub of episode 131 of Dragon Ball Super on this channel. Take care, and until next time.